money into an RRSP is a great way to save and invest for life after retirement. But when it comes to withdrawing that money, there are some things to consider. So here to share more is Peter Sashecki from Everything Financial. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Before we get to this, I just want to say that I started investing in RRSPs when I was probably early 20s. So this is like decades. But back then, that was one of the only products, if you will, that were available. Everyone was supposed to do it. Do you find that a lot of people are still investing in RRSPs?
Yep, they still are. And it's a great way to save money for retirement and defer taxes. People think you save on taxes. You're deferring the taxes till a later date. So the key is you buy your RRSPs in a high tax bracket. And then the key is cash them in a much lower tax bracket, and that's how you really make money.
Okay, so let's dive into this a little bit. RRSPs, and then we have the RRIF, the RRIF. It's the Registered Retirement Income Fund. What's the difference between those two?
The RRSP is what you're putting the money, the type of account you're putting the money into to get the tax-deferred savings and the tax-deferred growth, and the RRIF is what you change the RRSP to when you start to withdraw the money.
Oh,
so one's
okay.
for putting in, so one's retirement planning, and one is kind of estate planning and income when you're taking it out.
Okay, so you do that after you start taking your RRSP
That's
money.
Right.
It gets transferred to a RRIF.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you need to know about making that switch then?
Well, the key is when should you do it? You know, a lot of people are told by the big banks, institutions, or just in general, and the people think this, well, I don't touch my RRIF till I'm 71. I don't turn it into a RRIF until I'm 71. No, that's the time limit. That's when you have to turn your RRSP into a RRIF by. But realistically, you should do it much sooner, because the more that money accumulates, the more potential tax you're going to pay. Because when you take money out, it could put you in a higher tax bracket, and you want to save on your taxes, not pay more taxes.
But what if you're not ready to retire? Do you have to be retired in order to start taking that money?
Nope, you don't have to be retired to start taking that money. But if the key is to looking at your taxes, not what it makes you. Everyone gets so hung up on rates of return and what it makes you.
Okay.
The key is if you bought the RRSP in, say, a 42% tax rate, and if you're on a 20 to 28% tax rate, that's not a bad time to take the money out. If that tax rate is never going to change, withdraw money.
Okay, so to withdraw that money earlier, what are you doing with it to try to make the most of it?
Maybe if you don't need all that money because your income is good enough between pensions or CPP, old age security, maybe top up that TFSA thing we talk about sometimes, or just put the money in a non-registered account just to save. The key is in estate planning is if you let that money accumulate too high in the RRIF and you pass away and say you don't have a spouse, it's just you, well, that money is taxed at that point when you die in its entirety at one time to your estate. So it all becomes income suddenly. So you saved for years to save on tax, and then you just pay it all back to the government. The key is strategic planning to pay, and I keep saying this, less in taxes when you take it out than when you put the money in.
And same if you did have a partner, if you passed on, that they would be left with holding the bag on that.
Well, no, to the partner, good question. It goes actually over to them in the same status. So it's still tax deferred. It now becomes their RRIF. But then they're done. What if they pass away? Then when they pass away, then it's all taxed all at once to the estate. So people have this problem. They don't spend it fast enough. Spend it faster as long as you're in. Yeah, I want people to spend money, not save money now.
Sounds like a great idea.
I know. Yeah, everyone loves it when the financial guy says, spend your money. No, but spend it faster. But the key is, if you're in a 28% tax bracket, try not to be complicated and I'll be quick. If you have, say, $20,000 more a room in that tax bracket, take out the extra $20,000. It's not like you're saving money by waiting.
Right.
You're in the same tax bracket. Spend more money. And it's a whole session thing to work on, but you really got to look at spending that money and enjoying it.
Yeah.
As long as you save on taxes.
Wrap their heads around that. Good advice this morning. Peter Sashecki with Everything Financial. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.